Okay, I'm now calling the Cedar Creek Township Board to order on Tuesday, January 11th, 2022 at 6 o'clock p.m. We're meeting at the Cedar Creek Township Hall. The meeting will be posted on our website within the next several days. Let's see. Ron, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? It's right here. Oh, you did it. I did it.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. COVID, I apologize for my voice, but COVID ravaged our entire office. We have all tested negative, you should know that. But with that said, it did a number on my lungs. And it's really hard for me to breathe. It's especially hard for me to talk for any great length of time. And I'm going to do my level best to lead the entire meeting. But if my lungs give out and I can no longer talk, I'm asking you to give me permission to turn the meeting over to our clerk, Stephanie Kuziak. So with that said, I'd like to make a motion to ask for Stephanie Kuziak to lead the meeting if my lungs give out. So could I call for a motion?
Peggy.
I make the motion.
Okay, could we have a voice vote on that, please?
Yes, we can. Bob?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Stephanie, yes. Linda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Before I ask for a motion to approve the agenda, I would also like to add the following addition. Please add Andy O'Reilly for a seat on our planning commission under new business. With that said, may I have a motion for approval of the agenda with the addition of Andy O'Reilly for a seat on the Cedar Creek Township Planning Commission under new business.
I make that motion.
Support.
Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, Stephanie?
Bob?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Stephanie, yes. Linda?
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. We have with us Chief Alan Stiles from the Dalton Fire Department with us this evening. Chief Stiles, on behalf of the Cedar Creek Township Board, we would like to present you with this. Forgive me.
You want me to-
We'd like to present you with this lift assist. This is made possible through the Senior Millage Municipal Grant Fund program. And I want you to know, I got a small taste of how important this kind of equipment is. While I was really, really, really sick with COVID, I literally walked out of my bathroom and passed out. I literally fell backwards like they do when they do that trust exercise, although there was no one to pick me up. And I fell flat, knocked myself out cold, and hit my head on the tile. I had literally no energy. Unfortunately, I was contagious at that point, and Ron couldn't find me. He thought I'd fallen off on the other side of the bed in the guest room where I was
Staying.
where I was staying safe. And He literally was searching all over the house for me, but I didn't have enough energy to get up. And it was at that point that I realized just how valuable this kind of equipment is. Because by the time I woke up, it was all I could do to get up. I had to find enough energy to pick myself up, to roll over and get up from that position. And it isn't easy when you're old and when you have zero energy and you're sick or infirmed. So I now want you to know I understand just how valuable this kind of equipment is. I understand firsthand. So we are so very grateful. I personally and we as a board are so very grateful to be able to give you this kind of equipment. We understand what it means to you as fire responders, as first responders. We know what it means when you have to go pick somebody up, what the predicament you place yourself in, the injuries that you could physically incur yourself, and what it means to the people, their personal dignity, and we are so very grateful to be able to give you this equipment. So,
Thank you very much. It's going to come in quite handy.
I was gonna say, do you want me to lift it?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
yeah, we didn't open
Sure.
the,
No, I
the
understand.
motor, we just wanted
Yep. Nope.
to display this little piece of equipment here.
1, 2,
so-
3, nothing to hide.
Well enough to stand up.
Yes, can we all stand up real quick? I know that Andy's going to make me do it. So.
My last one, I made him hold it.
Well, you-
Linda, you go there next to him. And then,
We don't have to get
no.
I don't think we need to
just
get
wanted
that,
No,
we didn't know
It's
how
just
to
a
do
box.
it.
That's probably good right
Yeah,
there.
heck yeah.
We can put you right in the center.
How do we get over here? Get out a little
Tell
farther.
me where you want me to go.
Come here, Heather.
I hate pictures. Lorraine, we're going to have an argument later. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
Look there.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, before for a moment.
Of course.
It's typically, I've done it before, I've done it every year since I've been here for 11 years. I'd like to present you with our annual report that we do as a fire department. We break it down by jurisdictions so you can see what services we do provide to the residents here of Cedar Creek. We love the fact that we're able to respond out here and give the best care we possibly can with the way the situation is, obviously how the districts are, but we've worked well together for the last 11 years, so I'd like to give each one of you a personal copy just to see anything, and obviously that'll be on our webpage for any of the citizens that would like to see this as well. We like to be transparent, so it shows every bit of what we've done, and we're proud to say that we're, as a department, this was our busiest year by about a 35% increase. We ran over 1,000 calls, which is unheard of for our agency.
For
The
your
biggest year was
organization.
800, so we really got beat up pretty hard, but the staff was very grateful, and they're going to be very, very grateful for this. But I wanted you to know that we are well below the national standard of 10 minutes 90% of the time. We're on the scene here in Cedar Creek in less than 9 minutes 100% of the time. So it just shows that our staff is dedicated to the citizens of Cedar Creek as well as Dalton Township.
I appreciate that, Chief
Thank you.
Stiles. And Chief Stiles, you should all know, has been very, very good about providing us with a monthly
This is a desk
report.
copy for you as well to put out for your citizens.
Thank you so much. A monthly report about all of the runs that he has made. So we sincerely appreciate that. It makes a big difference. So thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And we put you on first so that you didn't have to stay for the entire meeting.
I don't mind, I have nothing going on. It's let the office do more paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, board, I truly appreciate it. And citizens, thank you as well for allowing the board to do that for us. That means a lot.
It was a board decision. We all voted on it. And in fact, you should also know that it was well received by the county commission. They really liked
Yeah,
this idea.
It's going to be
So,
an amazing asset to us, I know it
okay,
is.
thank you. Thank you. Let's see. We have also, what did I do here? I lost my place.
Minutes.
Oh, the minutes now. Here, right here.
Okay, you have a copy of the minutes for your review. I do have a few edits under public comment.
I need the motion first.
Pardon?
You need a motion, then we discuss.
Oh, okay, all right. I need to make a motion to review the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Um,
Now you can discuss it.
All right, now, okay, now if I can discuss it. And I put in your board packet too, so you know what I'm referring to, but there were a few comments that were made last month, and I need to just clear that up. Under public comment, MTA does not advise that we have a representative from another township, rather they allow for it. So I just wanted to, there's a slight difference there, so I wanted to make that perfectly clear. Rather they allow for it in their rules and regulations. Further, I want to make note that Jennifer Barnes did not approach Cedar Creek Township seeking this position. I placed, as supervisor, I placed this call to her. No one other, well, you all, board members and citizens can come to the township and say, I'm interested in a place on the planning commission. As supervisor, I am the only one that can bring the recommendation for appointment to the boards. So I'm just making it clear that I personally am the one that called Jennifer Barnes and asked her if she was interested in this position. She did not approach Cedar Creek Township. And before I did that, I want you to know that I talked this over with Lorraine Grabinski. So Lorraine knows full well how all that went down. Further, it was also mentioned that something about people not knowing about the positions. It's there's a tab in our website about boards and committees. Anyone who's interested in a position on boards and committees and can fill out, pull it, open that up, fill it out, pull it down, and email it or send it in. So that's available. There's also something posted on our door as you walk into the township hall. There's also when we fill out when we do our postings for planning commission, that's sent into the newspaper. So anyone, and if we make any changes to the planning commission, and that also is sent in, that's also sent into the newspaper. There's a part on the bottom of that that says if you're interested in participating in the planning commission, that you excuse me, to notify Cedar Creek Township. So there are 3 different ways. You can also call any of us at any time and notify us of your interest. We are very approachable. So there are 3 different ways right there off the top, 4 if you want to give us a call. So may I have a motion?
We have the motion for the minutes. So.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes
Right.
with these
With the
edits?
addition.
With the corrections. Is that the only correction you have?
Yeah, unless anyone else has any edits that they'd like to make.
Okay. I make the motion to approve the minutes with the corrections.
I'll second.
Are there any additional edits or any questions, or may I have a roll call then, please, Stephanie?
Bob?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Peggy? Yes. Stephanie, yes. Linda?
Yes.
Motion passed. Minutes
Okay.
approved.
All right. Treasurer's report.
Our December 1st, 2021 general fund beginning balance was $1,075,175.92. Our revenues totaled $101,724.77. Our expenditures totaled $56,296.70, leaving us with an ending balance of $1,120,603.99.
Does anyone have any questions for Heather on this?
I do have one question here. See, we got Micah Myers for 2713, and then we have it up here for 1553. It's like a week apart.
Micah Myers bills,
4266.
for Micah Myers bills when they come in, say due upon receipt.
Oh,
So when I get them, I pay them.
so I
So,
thought, man, I've never seen them that big in one month.
Attorneys are very expensive.
Well, we also had, if you recall, we had the,
The Don Snow.
The Don Snow.
reapportioned,
they had to redo all the,
and we also had, is any of that the,
Did he raise his prices this
That
year?
makes sense.
Lorraine, do
No,
you know
they-
what any of the,
Oh.
well, they might have. Everybody has.
Maple?
Yeah,
Was
Maple.
that probably,
some of
probably
that is
that was
maybe.
some
There was a
Maple.
question on putting the demolition on the
Yeah.
tax bill,
Mhm.
I think.
Bob, if you want to look at some of the breakdown, he has it broke down exactly what cost us
On
what.
the
I'll be happy to
invoices.
show you the bill.
Okay. And then Lindsay Hunt, I guess she's a cleaning lady.
Right.
Yeah,
I just found that out
yeah,
today.
yeah, she's a
So-
cleaning lady.
Even I didn't know that one.
Yeah,
Comes in once a week or
Yes, she does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Clorox.
Comes in after we're
We
done.
use bleach at the hall.
She's come in extra with what's gone on
Yeah, so,
and done extra stuff to wash down and wipe down, and
I
we've
was
all been
wondering,
doing
she
it too.
did, she did sanitize before.
Oh, we've been doing it every day, so. Yeah.
Okay.
any other questions for Heather? Okay, we will place the treasurer's report on file. Thank you, Heather. Okay, disbursements. Stephanie, do you have anything
Nothing
other
out
than
of
the regular
ordinary, just-
monthly bills?
Yeah, just normal bills. Just need a
Okay.
motion to pay them.
May I please have a motion to pay the regular monthly bills?
I make that motion.
I'll support.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or discussions? Okay, Stephanie, may.
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
Stephanie, yes, Linda?
Yes,
Motion passes to pay bills.
okay, thank you. Okay, we have next department reports. Given that we had COVID, Martha was out doing, she had to finish up some things for, she was out with COVID. She had some things she had to finish for end of the year. And there was too much stress put on the office because everyone was out with COVID, literally. So I postponed the department reports until next month. So we will have those in February. Next, we're moving on to correspondence. Bob, do you have anything that came to you this month? Okay,
Not this time.
okay, Heather.
Yeah, so if you recall, back in July, we received a list of parcels that had been foreclosed upon by the Muskegon County Treasurer for non-payment of taxes. And the state has first right of refusal on the parcels. They can choose to take those. The state didn't want any. Then it came to us. We looked at the list of parcels. There was one parcel that we kind of considered. It's a small lot in Clear Lake subdivision. I don't believe it's buildable. It's very small. And we kind of looked at that thinking, is there a possibility it could be some extra parking because fishermen have a hard time finding a place to park down there without parking on the road, or maybe like a small park. Ultimately, we decided that we were just going to let it go. We weren't going to mess with it. So it went to the tax auction and nobody bought it. So we received a deed in the mail this week. We got it back. So
We didn't have a
cost us
choice.
anything, but it's ours now. So this is for
Is
your
it
information.
attached to anyone else's property?
Well, there's property all around
All
it.
around it, so.
That's
So-
what we were
if-
kinda hoping.
So if that comes to.
Yeah, if we
that
don't
point,
wanna
you could
hang on to
split
it, we
to
could
them.
contact the neighbors and ask
Yeah.
them if they would be interested in it.
But then the parking thing sounded pretty good to me too.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't
I would
back
give
there to
them,
walk on it, I don't know what the terrain is like or anything, but
I would give the neighbors the first choice if they want extra property, and then I would,
They actually had first choice.
but did they know to go down there to do that? Were they notified by the county? See,
I don't know.
I know that happened prior with me here, and we did send letters to the adjacent property owners, told them that it was brought back to the township if they were interested to contact us.
I know that's what happened with the other people in Clear Lake, that they were notified
Yeah.
of adjacent properties, so.
Maybe none were interested, but, you
Yeah,
know,
that's right, I don't know.
that's one way to make it usage.
Right, yeah. So, and the taxable value is $200.
No, just
We are
little.
not like losing all kinds of
Money?
income, yeah. So, just so you know.
Okay, thank you, Heather.
Yep.
This is an FYI. Right now, we received an invoice from AAA Lawn Care. This is for the year in the amount, if we were to pay it, I think relatively soon, it was $786.24. We have used AAA for several years now.
Just to do the weeding and try to keep up with the cactus.
Yeah, it is for the cacti, yeah.
I was just
Cacti.
gonna ask that if it was for that, for
It
the cactus
is.
problem.
Yeah.
But biggest problem with the cactus was because we weren't
They're not
watering the
dying.
grounds or
But
anything
they're coming
either.
back alive.
Right.
So did you get them to come out a second and third time?
It's for three
Three times?
3 times they
treatments,
come out.
spring, late summer, and fall care. With that said, and I'm bringing it to your attention now because we had irrigation put in late in October or November, one of the early November, and which will help with the cactus problem. The cactus are eradicated with water. We were told that is the best killer of the cactus if they are constantly watered. A couple issues here are where grass will also grow. We don't really have grass. We have
Green
Weeds.
weeds.
we have weeds.
Crabgrass.
Yeah, we have crabgrass out there. So what we might want to consider, rather than this AAA lawn care right now, is scraping the grass, putting down topsoil, and seeding the grass. Or what is it you call that? Not seeding, but blue.
Hydro seed.
Hydro seeding. Yeah. So we might want to consider that, and I'd like to put this on the agenda for next month. So I'm bringing this to your attention now so that you can be thinking about options.
Which is the best way to go.
Yeah, what you might want to do for next, as we move forward on this. So I'm going to sit on this, but I want you to think about it. Also, we received via info at Cedar Creek Township on Friday at 4:44 p.m. correspondence from the county regarding the tire drive. The county will act as fiduciary and grant administrator for any local unit of government wishing to participate in this event within Muskegon County. All aspects of the event rest upon the local unit of government. We would be able to keep the event open to all Muskegon County residents or just Cedar Creek Township or some combination thereof. The county will administer the grant and process the bills. Each municipality will need to coordinate with Fowler regarding the event date, number of trailers needed, and coordination of the drop-off pickup. Trailers typically hold 800 to 1,000 tires depending on how the tires are laced. And you know, Arlen, we're pretty well educated on how to lace the tires in the trailer. So Cedar Creek people have been doing this for years, and we know how to do it. The other problem is a lot of us are old. Sorry, folks.
We'll need volunteers.
Yeah. So typically, each trailer does hold 800 to 1,000 tires, depending on how the tires are laced. The county recommends one person to do traffic flow and at least 10 volunteers to lead with the whole tire process. I'm bringing this to your attention now, and unfortunately, we don't have a lot of lead time. The county wants an answer by tomorrow morning.
I would tell them yes.
Do they have any kind of dates in mind?
No, we select the date.
We select it.
We select the
We
date.
pretty much set the whole thing up.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do everything.
Okay.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, I talked
We
with
get the
Alan
trucks
Jager yesterday.
They just provide the truck.
He said he has 500 tires that he has on his own property. He's been allowing people to drop off tires in his yard. And he said it's really hard to tell people that they need to clean up their own yards when he's got 500 tires in his own yard. So he said it doesn't send the right kind of message. So right now his thinking is he's going to have one trailer. And he's kind of leaning toward, we'll have one trailer in Holton. Remember, people are accustomed right now to 3 trailers in Cedar Creek Township for all of the county coming to Cedar Creek.
Yeah, we did, what we have, 3 or we have 4 last?
We had,
We had 4.
yeah.
We had
but-
1 here and 3 over there.
Yeah.
We've done that the last 3 years, we've had 4.
But-
Well, we've ended
Because-
up having to have 4.
Well,
They brought
they'd
them.
stack
Yeah.
them up out there and have
Yeah.
to bring another
Yep.
trailer in.
But
but-
that's for the whole county.
Yeah, that was for the whole county.
So this time they want to split it all up?
This
around
time it's
to
up to the
vicinity?
township to do
So,
it.
so now it's all different. That each county can have whatever amount of trailers they want. So with that said, so we can essentially begin discussion on this. I'm asking for a motion for Cedar Creek to have one trailer.
It's gonna be just Cedar Creek though.
This is Cedar
Well,
Creek. This is
how
how,
do you-
Bob,
we
this
can-
is,
So
this
we
is how we
advertise
start
that way,
the
'cause we're
discussion.
putting
That's how we
together.
start the
Is
discussion.
that how we're going to have to do that?
I'm
Okay.
asking for a motion so we can begin discussion
I'll make that
on what we
motion.
want.
Motion.
Okay. All right. Taking into consideration that each township may or may not have any tire drives. Each township
So
may
we
have
could
their
end up
own
with 2
township.
trailers if they
We could
don't
have as many
participate?
we
We
could have
can-
10 if we wanted.
We have to,
How much is each trailer? Do we know this yet?
We don't, there's no cost for the trailer.
Not, no cost, so they're
no,
not
there's
bringing
no
the
cost.
trailer.
We just have to set them up.
Okay.
The county
Tell
always
them
had
what
the
to do and they'll
trailer.
do it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have to call them,
All
tell
right.
them we want them to come here, want them to drop the
And
trailers.
that
We have
means
to
if
set
we
the
had,
program
if
up.
we had 2 trailers, we'd have to have 20 volunteers. 20 people who are capable of throwing the tires in the trailer, lacing the tires appropriately in there.
Yeah, we need guys for that.
People like Arlen, who's capable of literally, and
He's
Arlen
not
knows
getting
exactly-
picked on, it's because he did a lot of work.
Yeah, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he was
But-
pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year when we done it, that was countywide.
That was
The year
countywide.
before, it was township.
No,
No.
No.
it's always
They
been
had-
countywide.
Muskegon Township did theirs,
Fruitport had one.
Township. And
2 years.
we've always had, you had 2 trailers years ago. We
Right.
had 3 trailers.
But
And we
everyone
always
has,
filled them and
Always
then
we
more.
filled them up.
yes, but everyone has
So
always
if you
been
got less
county
than 3, you're
open.
gonna have tires in that 2 track down the road.
One of the things that they said is that if we decided that it's only for Cedar Creek residents, we would probably cut down on the businesses, because there's businesses in Muskegon that would come to these.
Yeah.
Well, and
With
they
huge
said they
trailers,
were gonna
so-
try to cut down on them, but they didn't.
They never did, yeah. I
No.
know.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they said it, but they didn't do it.
But when it's
So
advertised, it would be
If they show up
advertised.
with a trailer full of tires, you gotta take them.
But
If you don't,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah.
find a place to put them. We got some right now on River Road, stacked up along the hill.
Technically, we don't do public comment, but I'm going to on this case because we've got to answer this tomorrow.
Chuck?
Err on the caution side is all I ask. If you only need one, put two out there and not open the other one.
I don't know what ramification it has on our cost, if we'd be in any way liable or whatever. Linda, you and I mean, you talked to me about it and we had a lot of conversation. Arlen makes up some really good points about, you know, the fact that people have laid tires out here after the event and just filled our parking lot up there with tires that we had to deal with. So if Muskegon County is looking for a number so that they can predict costs.
They are.
Then we probably wanna say 2 in case we end up going there, cause like Bob says, every year almost, we've had to get an additional trailer to pick up the scraps. So if they're looking for that number, what Arlen and I kinda talked about with our experience helping you guys is maybe 2 is better, but, and I understand Linda's just
One
trying to
open and
get the
one
motion
complete.
out there to get this started, and we don't know what the logistics are involved in doing this, because it's all kind of been laid out for us. But, and I kinda understand what Arlen's saying is, if we don't do this, we're gonna end up with a lot of scrap tires laying.
We do have the option of extending our date. Like, we don't have to have it one day. We can extend it longer so that we can say our tire drive is on Saturday, let's just say July 10th. I'm making the date up. So therefore, we can say that's when the tire drive is. But if the tire drive is full, we can say the tire's full, that all the tire,
And be
it's
done.
all
Yeah, we're
done.
done.
Yeah, done.
But then we could say, if it's not full, we can say we have room in our
Trailers.
in our U-Haul, whatever it's called, to, what do you call those things? Semis, thank you.
Semi-trailer.
Semi-trailers to put more tires. We therefore can open it up for a period of, and we can arrange that with a hauler to put more tires in for a period of 1 week or something. We can pre-arrange that.
I have one more thing.
Yes,
You
Arlen?
also have to err on the caution that, I know it's open to Cedar Creek Township, but you're always gonna have those other people right on the borders that are also going to come, because we can't check every single person that's coming in here. So even though you're saying Cedar Creek Township, you're gonna bring in just a little bit more from the outskirts.
I don't have a problem with that, though.
And I
We
agree
we never turned nobody away
Yeah.
before.
I agree.
If they came, we took their
With at least
tires.
2 to 3 then.
Yeah,
I
I
hate to agree.
I would say no to 3
Linda, are you
because
thinking
I,
of maybe putting a committee together to kind of organize
gonna-
this?
yeah,
You're
I,
gonna need 3.
yeah, I think a committee has to happen
Yeah.
on this.
After
I would
doing
like to
this
be on
for
it.
7, 8 years, you'll need 3.
Tires?
No, trailers.
I meant tires, I meant trailers.
You will need
I got
3
tires on the
trailers.
brain, yeah.
And hopefully they don't put stone over there, 'cause that's a perfect spot over
It
there.
would be.
Yeah.
That's where we always did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked perfect.
It worked perfect
But-
over there because
'Cause
they
it
came
wasn't-
through here,
yeah.
went over there, and we didn't have all the congestion and.
Well, worked out
We know
nice.
you're
That did
retired
work
now.
out
Do they
very
plan on resurfacing?
Well, they
Where
did
we gonna put the
everything in
truck?
this area, so I don't know
They
if
should be
they'd
done
be
then. They would
asking,
work.
Yeah.
you know.
So, I think, right now, I have to order enough I keep
Enough
saying tires,
trailers.
trailers. I guess I need a motion. How many tires do you,
Well, we-
trailers? We're liable to end up with 2.
Well, we have
two-
the motion to do it,
Yeah,
then
we
we do the
know.
discussion. You don't do 2 motions
Well, I need the number
of what we're going to do. That's
How
what we
many?
need
I'm
to.
gonna say 3 trailers.
For
We've
for
done
just
3
Cedar
trailers
Creek,
for
but that's
several
for
years.
everybody else.
And actually
Okay,
4
we need
the
a
last
decision on
couple.
how many, where we're opening, who we're opening this up to. That's what it's the decision is who we're opening this up to and how many.
I'm gonna ask the 2 of you what your opinion is, because you were both here working it.
To me, the
3 or
timing's
2?
gonna be important, because if you do it early spring, you may not have as many tires out, or.
You don't wanna do it in the middle of summer because you're gonna kill everybody that's trying to work.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, the timing can be important too.
Yeah.
So,
If it's too hot, nobody's gonna
I
wanna
would
do
say 2
it.
trailers.
It's either
in my
late
opinion.
fall,
All right,
Are we opening that up to everybody? Because that's gonna make a big difference on how many trailers. you're
that's,
I'm of the mindset to open it up to like Blue Lake because,
Surrounding townships.
there you go, the
Yeah.
surrounding townships, then I would say 3
Yeah.
trailers.
Yeah, because
We had people coming in from Bridgeton too.
well, that's.
That's a different
county
county.
and I'm
Yeah.
not.
Well, I know,
yeah.
But no,
They were
because
coming
there will
over
be
there.
somebody out there
you're gonna
checking.
get
Yeah,
more
we didn't do
coming
that
from
this
everybody.
time.
Yeah, well, if we're going to make it
They're gonna
a
come
set
from
group of
everywhere.
people, then we're going to need to
We
check.
have to do
We're gonna
that.
be back
So they're
to
gonna have to have a
where we
driver's license as the person out there is directing the traffic. They'll say, I need to see your
were. We're gonna
driver's
be back to
license.
where we were with
And
all-
we'll advertise it
Yeah.
that way. It will be
Have to
advertised
be-
that it's
Have to
just,
be from Muskegon County, and we'll check licenses to see if you're from Muskegon County.
And then if we're doing that, we might as well do 3 to 4 again.
yeah, I gotta agree. If we're gonna open it up to the county, you're gonna need 3 to 4, and I would go high.
What was their suggestion, just for us? What you,
No,
what
it's,
your
there's no
It's up to
suggestion.
us.
It's up to us
It's
what
up
we
to
wanna
us.
do.
It's up
Okay.
to us,
So if we wanna do like
Who's
we did
handling
before,
that from the county now?
Carly, and it's coming out of DPW.
Okay.
You said we have 2 trailers that get hired in town.
Is they're telling us we have to? Because we didn't have that many with 4 trailers here before. We had about 20.
Well, they used to send a crew from the.
Yeah, and they never sent that many people with a crew.
But they,
No, they'd get the pay it back program and they'd bring 5, 6 guys.
From the prison,
You want,
or from the jail.
you want 3 or 4
You
per
think we
semi.
could do
Well,
that?
you want at least 4 per
I-
semi.
but there are more
You're gonna
people,
want
there are
8.
gonna be more people doing it, I think, more townships doing it, so.
Yeah, this, last year was the first time we did it to where there was hardly anybody doing it.
All right,
The
yeah.
year before, we had like
Okay,
5
all
different
right,
townships.
we're gonna make a decision that we're going to order the semis, and I'm gonna take, let's do it this way. I'm gonna talk to Carly tomorrow, see how many townships are participating in that.
Okay,
Based on that, I'll make a decision on how many trailers and, so it'll be 2 or 3. And we don't have to
Community's
just,
supporting you, so,
huh?
sounds like the community's supporting you.
Yeah, it does. It does sound, and we had some really,
so Arlen, you can't get out of working.
I'm used to it.
So I would like to
He was
make a
late last time.
motion that after you talk to this lady, we'll give you permission to decide how many trailers that you think we'll need from the participating.
Based on the-
surrounding-
based
Based
on-
on township.
if there are
Yeah.
not a lot of other townships that are
Around.
participating,
Right, so-
I will
so-
increase the number
Yeah,
of
so
trailers.
I
If
would
there's
like to
not a
make a
lot.
motion to have her, you make that decision after that conversation.
I'll support that.
And I will go either spring or fall.
Well, not July 4th, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's gonna go in the, yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
We
And-
always have done it in May,
And
so I would try to
that
stay
Carly,
in that
she'll know
area.
how many trailers we've got for the last several years, so she'll be able to tell
Yep,
you.
yep.
Yeah, well,
We've
we have
done-
had 4 trailers for the
With
last
other
4 years,
But
groups,
3
you
years.
know.
we didn't fill that 4th trailer last year.
Yeah, we did, because they had
Did we?
tires left outside, because Ron came over and put them in after
Did
the
we?
fact.
Sure, I probably got
We had-
pictures, I think there was all
Yeah,
full.
we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so,
So Peggy and then I, to give you the permission to make the final decision, but yes, we're gonna do the tire drive.
okay, all right. So, do we need a vote? Roll
Yes,
call?
I do. Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
Stephanie, yes, Linda?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, I will call first thing in the morning, because that has to be done right away. And I think Holton will, if they get 1 tire, just as an FYI, they'll probably have one tire, one trailer. They'll have leftover tires, so. Okay. Stephanie, do you have any correspondence?
No, I do not.
No.
Peggy?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, public comments, 2 minutes. Please limit your comments to 2 minutes. Thank you.
My name is Claire Smith, and I own Smith & Son Building and Remodeling. I was hired by some customers to remodel their house in your township, and your building official was called out to them, to their house, to look it over before I get there. And your building official was just kind of slandered my company, telling these people to hire another company 3 different times. Not once, but 3 different times. I do got 3 of the comments from the customers with their signatures. One for each of the board members if you want to read all 3 of them. I would like to see him removed, terminated from his position. This also went to the state of Michigan, and I did get their response that they are going to be looking into it and will be getting a hold of his jurisdictions. So that's all I got. So you want these?
Please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You got another one too? I board member missing or?
No, there's 5 of us. Thank you very much. Any other comments?
I do.
All right, yes.
My name's Fred Assink. I was at the last meeting, and I'm basically repeating what I said there. That this is Cedar Creek Township, and as a member of Cedar Creek Township, a resident, any vote or decision made for this township should be made by people from this township. I do not have a problem with the person that's being appointed. I think she does a great job, but she does not live in the township. Plain and simple. It's a slap in the face to this township, to this residents, to bring somebody else in when you have plenty of smart people in this township. And so you're saying that, well, you're not getting, at the last meeting it was said, well, we don't get volunteers. Well, when I was brought on, I was asked. The guy came over, talked to me, asked me. You said just now that you went and talked to that person from a different township. Why can't you do that here? Why can't you go talk to somebody else? That's my comment.
Thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Can we start having the meetings later at night so most people can make the meetings? Most meetings have been at 4:30 or 4:30, and I'm still at work.
What meetings are at 4:30?
You've had meetings before about the gun.
That's a task force, that's not.
They'll still open to public, correct?
It is.
I'm a taxpayer.
What was your name, I'm sorry?
Josh Bunker, B-U-N-K-E-R.
Thank you.
I pay enough in taxes, I think I should be heard.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes.
I'll agree with Mr. Essink.
Yep.
That I believe also that anyone serving on a board or a task force, a committee of any kind, should be from our township. If it serves the township, should be from the township. They have an investment in the township, and it's different if they're outside of the township. And like he said, I think we probably have plenty of qualified people, but one of the challenges we've discussed before is communication problems. We often don't know what's going on in the township. We have, I don't know how many Facebook pages, and I'm hardly ever on Facebook anymore, but when I am, I have to go looking for information, and it's not there. There's meetings aren't posted there. I'm not coming over this way, especially when I have to drive on the ice to check building. Most people don't even realize that we have a website. and we've talked about before, if anyone doesn't know, you can make a request of the office and they will send you notices before meetings so that you're always aware. You have to pay for the printing and the stamp costs and stuff, but that is another way to get that information. If there's a need, I think the community is willing to fill it if we have a little bit better communication on those things. I yield.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Sorry, a second though, about your irrigation thing you're
Yes.
talking about. Did you irrigate the baseball fields over there? Because those are kind of
Yes.
crap, as you would say. Just wondering.
I didn't use that word, but yes. they're
I
crabgrass.
could say worse, but I mean.
Yeah, they're crabgrass. That's why
Yeah,
we
well, we had kids in baseball last year. We talked about using that, and
That
yeah.
is why we irrigated them.
Okay.
Any other public comment? Planning Commissioner Jennifer Barnes and Andy O'Reilly. And I'm going to first start out with the reappointment of Planning Commissioner member Jennifer Barnes for a term set to expire on 12/24. These terms are staggered, so Ms. Barnes will not tell you this, but she has not accepted a dime for her services to this township. I personally feel responsible for asking Jennifer to serve this township for what I believe is exceptional work she has done on our behalf, and more importantly, for having her name dragged through the mud on Facebook. I would like to invite Attorney Jennifer Barnes to say a few words of introduction about herself. Jennifer, if you'd please come forward and...
So do you want me over here or up there? I'm not sure which way to face, I apologize.
You can stand in front of me and then it's okay.
Okay.
Stand right in front of me, it's fine.
Okay. I am Jennifer Barnes, and as Supervisor has indicated, I am an attorney in town. I have throughout my career served on a number of boards and committees and been an advisor to different groups, both profit and nonprofit organizations. The supervisor's correct. I don't accept any pay for this work. I haven't accepted any pay for any of the other committees or boards that I've served on. I do it as a volunteer. I do it because it's my calling to help when I can, to provide support when I can, and to provide what expertise I bring with me based on my background. I don't think that that's a downside to me, that I don't take the pay, and I don't think it's a downside to those that serve on these boards, such as the planning committee, that do take a pay. It's not meant to be derogatory by saying that I don't. It's just how I happen to feel about it. I do think that there's a little confusion about this whole planning commission and how the process works. As the supervisor indicated a little bit earlier, she alone is the board member that gets to make the recommendations to the rest of the board about who gets to be put forward for the appointments. Others can say, hey, have you talked to so-and-so? I think so-and-so would be great, but it is ultimately her responsibility to make that recommendation. It's then up to this board to vote and decide whether that recommendation goes through or not. I went back and looked at the minutes from when I was initially appointed. It was at the November 10, 2020. I'm gonna double check to make sure I'm saying that correct. November 10 of 2020, that the supervisor threw my name out there and suggested that I be appointed to the Planning Commission board. I did note that the minutes reflect that Clerk Kuziak is the one who made the motion that I be appointed, and it was Mr. Wright who supported that motion. Ms. Foster was not on the board at that time.
Correct.
She had just won election, and her seat was held by a different individual, by
You
Kim
took
Young.
over my seat.
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
yeah.
And that was exactly what happened, is that I was appointed to the seat that was being vacated by Ms. Foster, since she was elected to the board and couldn't be on the board and on the planning commission because Mr. Wright is the designee to be on the planning commission. But that vote was unanimous. I lived in Dalton Township when that vote occurred. I didn't move. I still live in the same home. And the way I'm being attacked on social media, I didn't do anything different. I lived in Dalton, your neighboring community, and I still live there. And it was acceptable for me to be on this planning commission by the board, minus Ms. Foster, a year ago. I'm not certain why it's such a controversy at this point. One of the things I don't understand, and that I appreciate that Ms. Arts clarified, is I did not seek this position out. Like I said, I already serve on a number of boards and a number of committees. But the theory is, if you want something done, you find the busiest person you know, because you know they're gonna get it done. So I came on this board because I was asked, and when I'm asked to do something, I step up. So I agreed when I was contacted and said, sure, if your board will have me, I'm more than happy to serve. So on that planning commission, we have 5 members. What I think there's a misunderstanding about is that the planning commission does not write policy. The planning commission is a committee. We make recommendations to the township board. The township board takes our recommendations and they can accept them. They can reject them and say, we're not doing this, or they can modify it. But we don't make policy. And some of the comments that were made on Facebook were that, and some tonight, were that we don't want outsiders, people who live outside of our township, to be making policy and telling us what to do. That's not what this planning commission has done. It's not what I have done. I think it's important to note that I'm from Dalton, another semi-rural community. Supervisor didn't go down to the city of Muskegon or Norton Shores, somebody who has a completely different master plan about what the intentions of this township are supposed to be. She didn't go there and ask somebody from that jurisdiction to come and serve. She asked me from a neighboring community who has not the same, but some very similar concerns about the development in our community as what the citizens of Cedar Creek have for this one. It's also significant to note, if you go back and look at the votes that the Planning Commission has had, I can think of 2 votes where Mr. Asink voted no or abstained. On every other vote, the rest of the body, and on every other vote, I apologize, let me say that a little more clearly. On every vote minus the 2 I just mentioned, it's been a unanimous vote. And I vote last. I don't set the precedent. There's a motion on the floor, there's support, we have our discussion, and as we take the roll count, the vote count, I'm the last one to vote. So potentially the worst I'd be doing is breaking a tie. But I haven't even been put in that position. It's been a unanimous vote. So how have I harmed your community? I don't see it. I don't understand why I have to be attacked on social media. I have some concerns about Mr. Asink. I appreciate the fact that he says that he likes me, we're friends. But it was his comments on social media that said, we're writing policy. After 10 years of serving on the Planning Commission, you ought to understand we're not writing policy.
We are writing policy to give it to
Madam
the board.
Chair?
No, you're not allowed to speak at this point, Fred.
I'm not gonna go down the road of the task force. The task force is a whole different animal. But if you do look at the members on the task force, you have myself, who lives in Dalton. You have Ms. Grabinski, who lives in Muskegon Township. You have a representative from the Sheriff's Department who lives in, I believe it's Eggleston. We had a representative from the DNR who I believe lives in Norton Shores. So all of us are out of line by trying to help a community with the expertise that we bring from our fields. We also have citizens of Cedar Creek Township that are on that task force who also weigh in. The Michigan Township Association says it is completely acceptable to have 1 member of your planning commission who does not reside in your township. I have been happy to serve in that role. And if this board so chooses to put me back on that board, I will serve again. And I will do my best to help make suggestions and recommendations that go to this board. And those suggestions and recommendations will be in the best interest of all of the citizens of Cedar Creek Township. Not something that's going to protect me, not something that's going to benefit me. It's my concern is the best interest of the entire community. So if this board chooses to accept the recommendation that's before you to put me back on the Planning Commission, I will humbly serve. If your decision is not to, then I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay. Last spring, I drove to Fisk Road in Cedar Creek Township to visit Andy O'Reilly, to see his home and spend a bit of time with him. During that visit, I sat at Andy's picnic table and asked Andy if he would consider joining our Planning Commission when and if a vacancy became available. Andy indicated that he and his lovely wife Cindy would be building a new home, and that at that time would be all consuming. He would not entertain the idea of joining our Planning Commission. Now things have changed. They have a beautiful new home in Cedar Creek Township, and Andy has agreed to join the Planning Commission for a term set to expire on 12/25. Andy, if you would please step in front of the camera for a change and introduce yourself to the viewing audience.
You know, crowds make me nervous. So, my name again is Andy O'Reilly. Thank you for having me, and if you so choose to appoint me through Linda's suggestion, I'd greatly appreciate it. I started off in the Planning Commission in Roosevelt Park. I then was appointed to the City Commission in Roosevelt Park, and when I left that, I was the Mayor Pro Tem. I would consider our greatest achievement as a board there, well, two, I think, were our greatest achievements. One was the closure of the Victory Inn and Suites on Henry Street, which had a really bad trafficking problem going on. To get that shut down and taken care of was a great source of pride for me. And then for me, doing what I've done for a career, which is broadcast and media and events, I kind of turned Roosevelt Park Day around. We were doing it out on Broadway. It was really going nowhere. I said, why don't we use this beautiful park and make it a food truck thing? And it kind of turned around. So, my name was floated out by Linda first when we moved up here permanently. We had a cottage on that lot on Crocker Lake. And when it came time to move, we had to rebuild the whole house. And then from there, once we got the building done and Linda asked if we'd be interested, I said no. My name got brought up on social media, seeing if I'd be interested, and I said no again. We're pretty busy with what we publish. And then I brought it up to my wife that had been mentioned for me to be on the Planning Commission, and she said, why don't you get off your ass and go help? Happy wife, happy life. I send Linda a note, say, yes, okay, put me in, and here I am. So I publish. We have one pretty big website called the Muskegon Channel, and we've got a blog that started everything off for me alone called Positively Muskegon, and we also run the cable channel for the city of Muskegon, which is Channel 96 on your Comcast channel. I left commercial radio in 2012 because their ideals did not meet mine any longer when it came to what broadcast should do for a community this size. And from there, I started my own media, and that's what we do now. So that's a little bit about me, and I look forward to helping any way I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, may I please have a motion to approve Jennifer Barnes and Andy O'Reilly to the Cedar Creek Township Planning Commission?
I make that motion.
Support.
Are there any questions or discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know the answer to this, but it's a curiosity question. Does he have to be a resident for 6 months prior to being on any committees? For Andy?
He's been a resident for,
Has it been six months?
We moved in
since you-
June.
Yeah, he's been
Just,
6
you
months.
just made the 6 months, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay, that, your question has been answered, asked and answered, so,
Bob,
They gonna do those separately? You doing both together
both
on the
together,
vote?
both
Yeah.
together on the vote.
Well, I can vote yes for Andy and no for Jennifer.
Okay, do you want to separate them?
I'd like to,
all right,
because I do believe 100% we need the person living in our township. MTA don't even make a recommendation to have somebody.
I cleared that up, they allow
Yes, you
for
did.
it, yes.
You did, but I'm just letting you know, that's where I am, because I
I will
believe
take
in
it as a
fairness
separate
and the
vote.
rules.
Okay,
So-
then may I please have a motion to approve Jennifer Barnes?
I make that
as-
motion for
okay.
Jennifer.
I'll support.
Then Bob is a no.
Okay, hang on. Heather,
Yes.
Peggy,
No.
Stephanie, yes. Linda,
Yes.
motion passes.
May I please have a motion for?
I make a motion to appoint Andy O'Reilly to
Okay.
the Planning Commission.
I'll support.
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Peggy,
No.
Stephanie, yes. Linda,
Yes.
pass. Andy
Okay.
and Jennifer, welcome to the Planning Commission.
Thank you very much. Okay, then the next item on our agenda is spraying for gypsy moths. And this is another, right now, just kind of an FYI. Heather and I had a discussion with Rob Ribbons, and you will all remember that last spring,
Early summer.
Yeah. Cedar Creek Township and parts of Muskegon County were besieged with gypsy moths. But Heather and I had a phone conversation with Rob Urbans, who is Water and Systems Manager for the County of Muskegon. And many of you will remember Rob from the tire drive. He was out here at that time. Rob has been charged with overseeing the county's gypsy moth problem. Rob has been checking in different areas of the county for the gypsy moths that are out there right now. He's been also checking with the townships to determine if they have a budget to pay individually for spraying. The answer to that is no. No one has a budget. Rob will be coming to Cedar Creek Township with the next couple weeks to take a look at some of our hardest hit areas within the township. We know for a fact, because we asked people to contact us through social media, and whatever way we could, we sent out a newsletter and we asked people to get in touch with us. We were keeping a spreadsheet of the hardest hit area. We know that Clear Lake was the hardest hit area within Cedar Creek. So he'll be checking for signs of egg masses, which is in the winter, that's where you check for that.
Does he expect another year of the gypsy moths? Or
Ye-
whatever you call those
yes.
little creatures?
Gypsy moths.
Yeah,
them things.
the egg, yes.
So he is expecting another year
Well,
of this?
yes and no. He determined that Rob felt that the heavy rains in the fall may have contributed to a reduction of the gypsy moths. That's his feeling right now. He's also said that spraying could range anywhere. Originally, he felt that spraying was up in the $75 range, but now it could be as low as $35 to $40. And I also said that most townships don't have a budget. Cedar Creek budgets $500, which, excuse me for being so blunt about it, but you might as well spit in a bucket as attempt to pay through a $500 budget. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well not budget for that. He also told us that the state will not allow any spraying on state land. So that's out of the question. And you all know Cedar Creek Township has a lot of state forested land here. We also have a great deal of federal forested land. So that's not happening here either. So no spraying on that kind of property. He did say residents could have the option of paying for their own spraying. And given that it's could well be in the $35 to $40 range, that perhaps is doable and more likely is going to be the option that we have to work with. Also talked about at great length the issue of all the people that would not allow spraying on their property. And quite frankly, there are a number of people that would not consider spraying, allowing spraying. And we talked in the in that one newsletter about the fact that you might want spraying on your property, but it might be adjacent to the next property, and that individual would be irate if that spray filtered over on their property. So those are issues that the county has to deal with. And the county, I believe, did not have a budget for spraying. So those are all issues that have to be considered. This is a developing issue, and we want you to be informed. As we know more, we'll let you know. Rob, as I mentioned, Rob will be coming out within the next couple weeks to check for egg masses. Please, you can let us know through info@cedarcreektownship.org. And Cheryl, who is sitting back there, Cheryl, would you raise your hand? Cheryl sits at the front desk there. She has the spreadsheet. If you have lots of egg masses in your yard, you should let Cheryl know. But again, Rob seemed to feel that that it will be greatly, the gypsy moths will be greatly diminished this year. And when we talk about budget for the this next year, we're going to be addressing some of those things. We will probably talk about what do we want to do for the future. What are some of the considerations we want to think about? You know, $500 isn't going to cut it for, gypsy moths down the line. If it gets really bad again, we need to think about how do we want to address a gypsy moth program in the future. What do we want to do? We need to think more globally rather than just a small spit in the bucket. Sorry, folks.
Can I make a remark on that?
Sure.
That spit in the bucket was because that's all it cost us in the
past,
past, because the county, I don't want you to think we didn't budget correctly. This is what we used to pay, but the county picked everything off before, and they got the grant, so they just gave us a portion. So now it's going to fall on us. Just what I wanted to clarify.
What if the price changes from that $35 to $70 and we didn't budget enough? So how are we going to come up with that? I mean, we can discuss this later in a meeting, but how would you know how much? And so we probably should wait for Rob to come in and make some decisions. Probably
we will put this on next month's agenda.
Yeah, let's do
well.
that because we have to make a decision now
and you're going to have
without
budget.
hearing him. And budget coming up.
Right,
So.
but this will go on next month's agenda, but I just want people to know, because this isn't a problem that's gonna go away.
No.
The gypsy moths will be with us next year, or next year, in what form, I don't know. I just want people to know we are addressing them. Putting gypsy moths on our front porch in baggies is not gonna send us a message that, I mean, we have cameras out there, we know who did it anyway.
I had 2 great big baggies
So,
in the front porch.
That doesn't send us a message that,
bad.
they stunk, we got the message. So, okay, with that said, board comments. Bob, do you have a comment you'd like to make?
The comment I gotta thank Fred. 10 years being on the planning commission. You know, working with you on the planning commission was awesome. I learned a lot from you. And I think that our board, when you got 10 years invested in somebody, you need to keep that person there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
That's all I have.
Heather?
I really don't have anything. I do believe, thank you, Fred, for your service. And you are still on the zoning board of appeals, I believe. So we will still be able to utilize you.
And Fred and I did talk about that. He asked me if I had any, if I was going to take him off the zoning board, and I said absolutely not. I had absolutely no intention of taking him off the zoning board. So I said one did not equal the other. So, board comments on my part. The truck, just to let you know, Dalton Township sold us a truck. It is
Beautiful.
still running. It's still running. But we had to have some work done on it. And when they called me to say, just, what are you doing with this truck? And I said, well, we're plowing with it. And they said, well, we just want you to know it's got a lot of rust underneath. We can't put it on the hoist. or it's going to, or it'll fall through the hoist. We can jack it up. And so I'm just bringing that to your attention. We're babying that truck along through the winter. So it runs beautifully. I mean, you know, it's
Well,
a
we're
little.
gonna have to get a
We
new
definitely
truck.
are
That's a
going
good
to have
thing
to
to look
get
at your
a-
budget with.
Yeah.
If
So
not.
that is a budget item.
We talked about that not too long ago.
Yeah, it is definitely a budget item. So we are definitely babying that truck, so to make it through the winter. So Peggy.
I actually have a few things. The first thing I'd like to talk about is we have some food that can be given to seniors 60 and older. When you come into the township and pay your taxes, make sure you ask for one of these bags and pass it on to your friends as well.
It's not contingent upon paying your taxes.
No, it's not contingent. Yeah, you can just 60 or older. Go on in and get your food there.
It's just a good time to pick it up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's here, it's ready.
Ireland just turned 60.
Yeah, he did
He's looking
not.
at that food. I also would like to everybody to know that I did go to the Eggleston Township ORB meeting because they had that meeting. Remember we talked about that I was going to go to their meeting. What they had forgotten to do before approval of the ORV, they had forgotten to send out notices to the neighboring townships. Neighboring townships had to be notified first, and that's why it's going back to them, because as we probably already have received the notice from them. And also in the other township, Holton is holding theirs right now. Obviously I can't make that one because I am here, but I'm pretty sure that's the same reason. It's because they were not notified of the public, and now that they are notified, now they can approve their ORB ordinance. So basically that's what that was. So I went to go do that. I did have a correspondence. We talked past it, and I didn't want to bring that up. I haven't heard much from the Parks and Recs department. How is that going? Are we still holding meetings for the Parks and Rec?
Not yet. We tabled that for a while. We are going to re-up it when we start with ARPA.
Okay.
So,
All right. I just haven't heard
Yeah.
from it for
No.
a while.
No.
So
we're
I
about
just
to we're about to ARPA it.
And I just want to say a few words about picking the two people for the Planning Commission. These two people that were chosen are great people. But I believe our township should have given the possibilities to people inside the township. They pay the taxes inside the township. They should make the decisions inside our township. So I feel that it should have been in our township. Sorry, I just kind of get my feelings there. So it should have stayed within our township. There are many ways to post, to ask for people to come on this board or on the planning commission. There are many Facebook pages, as you mentioned, that could have been put out there. Yes, I know that it is on the board out here or on the door. It maybe could have been put on our, what do you call that, a sign that we have out there? It could have been put there, that you're looking for anybody to join a planning commission who are interested in the planning commission, or any commission, should be advertised extremely to the public prior to picking somebody on the outside. It's just for tax reasons. That's my opinion. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Stephanie?
Okay, since everybody's gonna talk about it, I'd like to thank you for your service, Fred, and I'm glad you're still on one of the boards. Jennifer, I'd like to thank you for what you do for this community. I have been here for 15 years. This is my last board meeting because I'm retiring. I would like to see this township stop beating each other up. Come in here, talk to your board, talk to the people that work here. Stop going to Facebook and stop putting out misinformation. And I don't make $36,000 a year, and I did not take a raise last year. You need to support this board. You need to support this township, and you need to come together as a whole. And that is my wish, and that is my saying goodbye. But please, please, work together. Don't fight each other. This whole country is divided. Stop being divided here and be one and help each other. And I thank you all for everything you've done for me over the last 15 years. And I'd like to just say goodbye.
Before we move on to public comment, I personally want to thank Stephanie. She has been a wealth of information, and her service has been invaluable. She definitely, I could not have done this without all that Stephanie has helped me through and all the training that she's given me. So I really, thank God she's only a couple doors down from me, so.
Just a phone call away. I will
Yeah,
not desert
yeah.
my township.
But, so I
We
really,
expect you in some of our meetings.
Yeah.
yeah, I really genuinely will miss you here, so.
And I did forget to say, Andy, thank you for coming on too. I'm sorry.
So thank you, Stephanie. You
you.
will be missed here.
Appreciate it.
So now we turn it over to public comment, and this is a public comment section of the where you may talk about anything that is of concern to you.
Got a couple things. Thank you for your service. But I do have a problem because what has happened in this township. First of all, what happened to Jackie is absolutely outrageous. When that lawyer stood up here and stated that it was a win, that nothing ever happened, insurance companies never pay out unless they know they are wrong. I wish Jackie would have never settled. For one. Two, Jennifer, I have no problem with you, but you should never be a chairman on a planning commission being outside of this township. And with that, on the noise ordinance, being there was Jennifer and other people, like the Shane Brown. I don't think Shane Brown should have been on that task force meeting. It should have been the shooting range instructor from Muskegon County. Shane Brown actually lives in the township of Fruitport, which cannot shoot at any time. Yes, he is a police officer, but still, the shooting range officer would have had a better idea of the whole thing. With the lawyer aspect, I have talked to the state reps and my own lawyers, and I did not pursue it because it would cost me quite a bit of money. They had a gag order on me that stated I could not post on Facebook. Under Supreme Court rule, it states that anybody, even the board, can have misleading information, and a gag order can only come from a judge. So I do have a problem when somebody stands up there and says my expertise and that's what they did to me. So I yield.
Thank you for your comment. Yes, sir.
You work so hard to spread the word about the bugs, gypsy moss and everything else. So why didn't you try so hard about posting for a board position? I mean, I've only been here for 2 years. I mean, I have no problem speaking my mind and talking. It'd be nice to know.
You have no, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I have no problem being on a board or helping around or whatever else, but I never got a letter, nothing. I go by here every day. I mean, if you need it plowed, I mean, need help, whatever.
Put your name in, put your name, go on our website, or put your name, we'll print something out for you, and then.
There's an application
Yeah,
on the
there is an
website.
application.
There's an application right on the
I'll be happy
website.
to print I'll be happy to print one off before you leave tonight.
Okay, but also, why aren't we mailing letters out to residents asking them?
That's not in my budget to do that.
I'll pay for it.
Do you want to really know what it costs to mail to this whole township?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. It's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
I'll pay for it. What's it cost? Let me
Well,
know.
it's about,
1,000?
huh?
35 cents a letter.
58 cents a letter.
2 cents a letter.
How hard is it to drive around and deliver them, honestly?
Post on Facebook. I've seen that you posted
Yeah.
COVID on Facebook. I mean, Facebook is a great app to go out there to ask also.
I mean, I don't know her, I mean, you know her fine, whatever, but I mean,
Okay, I appreciate your comment, thank you. All right, thank you. Anyone, yes, Chuck?
I'm Chuck Skinner, and I started my 2-minute timer, so. I heard about the fact that they're gonna try to open up the Maple River. I don't know if you guys know about the Maple River, but the Maple River, it flows on the south side of Maple Island, whereas the Muskegon River flows on the north side. It used to be flowing at about the same level or rate, okay? When they used to float logs down 100 years ago, they used to get jammed up where it split, and it caused a lot of problems. So over the years, the loggers would block it up so that the logs would flow freely, basically. That's not probably written in a history book, but it's what I've ascertained through my research. And over the rest of the years, road improvements and bridge improvements have cut off the Maple River pretty much totally. It's only backfed from the Muskegon River at the south confluence, where if the Muskegon River's high, it'll back up through it. But all this caused a lot of erosion along the Muskegon River because of the increased water flow there. And make a long story short, there's been a couple studies, and I've met with some guys from Ferris State, and MSU's been involved in this and done a state study, and the recommendation is to open the Maple River back up. Right now, the Maple River is a mosquito breeding ground. And I was actually surprised to find out that David Bain, as an example, a farmer down here, is for opening up. And I thought he might get more flooding on his south side. But what I found out was in the last 10 years, he has lost about 18 rows of corn from the erosion on the north side, or whatever. You know, so there's a lot of erosion wherever there's a turn in the river when the water comes up, etc. So I went to a meeting with Scott, I'm not going to give you his last name, I don't remember it, Marty, and they're from the MWRA, which is the Michigan Watershed and River Association, something like that. And in that meeting, Terry Bain, David Bain, Roger Peacock, thank you, wealth of knowledge, and myself were asked to be on a steering committee for this township. This river runs through Cedar Creek Township and Bridgeton Township from over on River Road. It's not real long. The biggest shoreline is, and I'm out of time here, if I can continue just for a minute.
I would ask that we let him finish that.
All right. The state is the biggest customer, or the biggest person along where the Muskegon game land or game area is, and they think they've got a buy-in from them The Indian tribe has come on board because there was some concern about wild rice. I've talked to Mr. Bumstead, and he says that this is going to happen in the next 5 years. It is a win-win for everybody. I'd like the township to know. I'm going to, in the future, create a section on the Facebook page, if I can, to continue to flow information to the residents. I will be available more frequently in this office as of 1 February. Please feel free to drop in and let me know what you think, if you have concerns. And one last thing, it will require 2 bridge improvements projects in our township. One where Maple Island crosses the Maple River, and one on Bain Road where it crosses the river. So there'll be 2 construction projects that will benefit us. This project is receiving funding at this point, and they've asked for the Army Corps of Engineers to do the official. That's the one that really triggers everything, from what I understand. So if you have questions or thoughts, please feel free to reach out to myself or David or Terry or Roger, and we'd love to hear. And I am actually going to be going to speak to residents at some point along the river. Each one will get a visit as honorable rep for the MWRA or MRWA to make sure everybody is contacted and has some say in what's going on.
I'd like to let everybody that's here that hasn't been here before know that Mr. Skinner is taking my job when I retire at the end of the month. So that is your new clerk.
For a short time before elections, by the way. So just, it's by no means permanent appointment, so. Sorry.
All right, any other public comment?
Yeah, I've been ready for 2 weeks to get a building permit for this house to remodel. And I'm gonna have I can feel there's gonna be a conflict with the building official we have now. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna be doing here, try to get a permit through this township to get this project going.
Lorraine?
I'll talk to him after the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Jesse DeKuyper. I've lived here about 15 years, I think, but I've had family in the township for a long time on my mother's side. I just had 2 questions, and I don't know if they're answerable now or if they're answerable down the road. The first one was on the gypsy moth. As a landowner, I would be very interested in finding out why the state and federal won't allow spraying.
Okay.
So if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, we'd like to spray your land. What do you think?" I'd want to have that info. I'm sure it's on the internet, but as
I'll have to check with Rob Rivens on why the state won't allow spraying.
Thank you. And on the second thing, I'm new to the argument, I guess, about the Planning Commission. And again, maybe this is not appropriate. I understand you have the full authority to suggest who you like to. But as a new person to the concern, I'm unaware of why you thought that Ms. Barnes was the best choice. Clearly you did. Is that something you can speak to, or is that generally known and I just don't know it?
I will be happy to talk with you about that privately.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I wanted to give everybody behind me a chance to raise their hand first. I wanted to say that I'm really glad to see this turnout tonight, because compared to close to a year ago when we started seeing public comment, and I know you guys were pretty shocked by what happened in May and June and July, this is what we should see every month. I want to see everybody back here, and I haven't been here in the last couple of months. I think I've had other obligations or issues going on that I couldn't make it, but I intend to make it as much as I possibly can, because I want to stay informed on what's happening and be able to have a public comment when available. And we've learned a lot about each other in this township, haven't we? I've met a few people and gotten to know my neighbors more. This environment that we're living in has changed a lot in the last year. And you spoke to the divisiveness. We had some words last year. We raised our voices at each other, and after that meeting, we made a peace with each other. We've had some positive interactions. But that divisiveness that's happening all around the world still means that we have to pay a lot of attention to what is going on right here. And we can't do that if we're not paying attention and being here in this room, listening, watching the newsletters, paying attention to what's going on and having a say in it. Because what happened last time? I wasn't here paying attention when you asked her on board. I might have said the same thing that he came here to say tonight. I wasn't here last time to have an opinion or even think about having an opinion. I need to be here. That's what we're learning. We're in this problem with this whole nation right now because we haven't been here for 150 years and more. We haven't been paying attention to what's going on with our government, and we are now. That's why you asked a question last June, last May. What is going on? I don't understand what the problem is. The problem is we just figured out that we weren't paying attention. And now that we are, we have things to say. And we want to make sure that we're being heard. I appreciate the trustees that are paying attention and letting us know they do hear what we're having to say and reflecting votes on that when you think it's appropriate. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for your service, Clerk Kuziak. I wanted to mention too, when I had questions about our last election, she had answers right away. And she provided me with information without a cost. I know she provided a lot more information to someone else when he asked about the voter rolls, and he had asked a lot of other township clerks, and he got a lot of other answers, and she was readily available with that information. So that was a plus mark for me, for you. I yield.
Thank you.
What happened with the whole noise ordinance? Where are we on that? What everybody was complaining about shooting guns and this and that and stupid crap, whatever. I mean, instead of just going and deal with your neighbor.
Schedule coming up. For the last month, the office has been closed and we've all been in and out sick. And I was waiting on our attorney to answer a legal question we had. So I'll probably be scheduling the next meeting.
Is that open to the public or is that just you guys?
They're all open to the public.
Okay.
Within just a couple of weeks. It depends on when everybody can get together, but
Hopefully
I
evening.
will be scheduling it.
Sir, all our meetings are open to the public.
Like I said, though, hopefully evening time because most of us have a job that we go to every day.
They were scheduled according to the agreement of the members of the committee.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, like I said, so if I come in 5 o'clock, that's fine? Okay.
Okay, any other comments? Mr. Art?
I just wanted to kind of go along with what she said about how many people are at this meeting. You know, there's all this talk about being on boards and committees, and it's not the only criteria, but if you're here month after month, you know, speaking up, voicing your opinions about different things that are discussed, the board gets to know you. That's one way they tap you for a committee, is get to know you. But they say it's not the only criteria, but it's helpful. But usually there's 2 or 3 people here, and you know, we have a lot of people in this township. We could fill this room up easily.
Oh, yeah.
Heads up.
Any other comments? Going once. Going twice.